Okay, basically the story takes place on Saturn, and the guy who's in charge, which he still hasn't been named yet, is Dr. Darius something. I haven't come up yet. He's a the supreme dictator. He's a ruler, kind of like Dr. Doom is in Latveria. But he decrees that like anything of sexual nature, anything of drug nature, of anything of superhero comic book nature is not fit for his society. So he has his minions gather them all up and get rid of them. And we five guys come along and we try and fight him, because we like sex, we like drugs, we like comic books. I think everything is good in excess. And unfortunately, his forces were too overwhelming for just the five of us. We were banished on a one-way trip into the sun. But right before we got to the sun, Disco, the chief science officer, technician that he is, was able to activate the ship's warp drive and translate us to an unknown destination. But then something happened with the radiation from the warp drive and the radiation from the sun, caused all of our bodies to mutate. Pablo, he gained extraordinary super strength and vulnerability, and he can control fire. He can cover his body in fire, kind of like Human Torch, and create fire constructs, stuff like that. Disco, already being chief science officer, pretty genius with electronics, was able to control any kind of electronic and also adapt at creating various types of machines, weapons, whatever. And he's like, he designs all of our vehicles and takes care of our transportation. In the warp, he lost one of his arms, but he built a new one because that's how good he is. Lindo, aka Ivan, he gained the ability to turn invisible and create invisible constructs as well. And he also gained a control over lightning and can travel at light speeds.
It's like a bioelectricity.
Yeah, kind of like a bioelectricity, kind of like a jellyfish.
Jellyfish, or like an eel.
Yeah. Eric gained the ability to stretch himself, sort of like Mr. Fantastic, in any ways that he wanted to. But the only side effect for it is on his arms, they actually look like giant bungee cords. But since he can stretch himself, the ladies don't mind that little setback. And then myself, should have nicknamed myself Gillespie. I have gained 6 tattoos, 3 on each arm, which have been I've dubbed them the Rings of Saturn. And basically, they give me control. I can create anything I can imagine, kind of like Green Lantern does, except for my rings give off a red, crimson blood red hue. And I also can shoot concussive force beams through my eyes. So that is the start of the origin of the comic book version of Rise of Saturn. This right here is not how it's going to actually look. We're going to have an actual artist do it. This is just storyboarding. I know I'm not a good artist, but you got to draw it out before it works.
Try to. Thank you.
Yeah, man.